fifth dimension. Aquarius I am. We in the Aquarius age for the next 2,000 years, you dig?
Swing low, time to move on. Light years in time, ahead of our time.
I want to free your mind by helping you understand the zodiac signs. That's right, you're live with Aquaman in the zodiac zone where the cosmos is your home. I'm your very own Anpu, the real urban guru, coming through on the mothership. So let's open up your cosmic memory bank and swing down to earth where the shit stain. Hey, peace everyone. Welcome back to Hip Hop Astrology TV. I'm your host, Anpu, the real urban guru. It's been a minute. I missed y'all too, man. I missed y'all too, straight up. But hey, today is loaded. We got 3 subject matters that we have to cover, okay? We're going to get into R. Kelly. We're going to get into Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, going through a divorce. You're going to notice that him and Kale's birthday are just a few days apart from each other. Coincidence or science? And then we're going to get into, rest in peace, young lady Natalie, what is her name? Natalie Corona, a cop out in California got murdered. So rest in peace, but I want to show you something dealing with that, all right? And so before we get started, I can say go to myzodiacshirts.com, man. You see I'm loaded. I'm in my orange today, all right? So I've got my Aquarius shirt on. Get your Zodiac shirt, man. Get you one, all right? myzodiacshirts.com. Again, myzodiacshirts.com. All right, so first up is going to be R. Kelly. Ladies, I have something for you. And I'm going to put something together. It's probably going to be about an 8-week course, though. You need to understand how to read cosmic energy based off when a person was born in reference to... One, you need to understand yourself. That's one, as far as energies go. 2, you need to understand your partner, okay? Would-be partner, whatever. Then 3, all right, you need to understand your partner in comparison to you. So understanding your energy by yourself, understanding your partner energy by themselves, and then your partner's energy and your energy in comparison to one another. You need to understand those 3 things. That's why it's going to take about 8 weeks for us to fully indulge in this particular science. And I'm going to open this up for ladies only, and then I'm going to move over to the brothers and help my man out. All right. So let's get into R. Kelly, because this could be you. It could be your lover or whatever the case may be. All right. So R. Kelly is born January the 8th, 1967. Please note that in this chart, I have 2 arrows coming from the top. That is Saturn at the top, the one with the cross. And Saturn is pointing to Pluto, the P at the bottom, and Uranus right next to the P. That's why you see 2 red lines in between my arrows, because this tells me that Saturn is in opposition to Pluto and Uranus. Now, Pluto and Uranus are 24 degrees. Virgo, when he's born, they're in the same line of space. So you can see Pluto, and then a little bit to the left, just a tiny bit to the left, you will see Uranus, okay? And this is in a direct alignment called a conjunction. So this opposition represents a problem. I want you to note right here that when you're born and you take that first breath, I promise you, God, the invisible intelligence that runs everything, this space has a memory of you, the locations where things were when you were born. It has a memory of who you are. Trust me. And I'm going to show you that. Okay. So in this case, Saturn is upset because it's opposition with Pluto and Uranus. Okay. That's a fact. All right. So let's move into Pluto. Pluto is the planet that represents our sexual psychology. It represents our compulsion, our force, orgasm, manipulation. Surely some women feel manipulated by that. Black magic. Okay. So everybody has an aspect of what we call Set. In Egypt, this was Set, your shadow self or your lower self. These are principles of consciousness within you. The planet is just going to serve as a mirror of your decision making, and I'm going to show that. So Pluto is your psychological reference of sex and compulsion, your force. Okay? All right. Uranus is unconventional, freaky, unusual. Maybe I pee on you, right? Maybe I like young women, right? So it's something that's freak, something that's like weird, totally weird. Interesting, because he's born with the weirdness and the sexness, or the sex, right next to each other. Okay? So he's just really, he's personifying, obviously, who he is. All right? So let's move on. Again, born January the 8th, 1967. I want you to note that the sun's position when born appears to be at the hind of Sagittarius. Very important to understand this. The sun represents life, force, energy, your life, okay? It represents your identity, okay? So wherever the sun was at when you were born, that's why people say, hey, I'm an Aquarius or I'm a Leo. Usually when they say that, usually when they say that, the sun appears to be right there, okay? All right. And so I want to put a keynote here on identity, who you are, your life, okay? In the second column, you see spirit, all right? So let's move on. January the 3rd, which is the date that the series Surviving R. Kelly came out, Saturn in the sky, as you can see, is in the exact same spot at the hind of Sag. Because notice his birthday is a few days later, okay? January the 8th. That's why the sun appears right there. But now in 2019, Saturn is right there. So let's note that Saturn, when he was born, says, I am mad at you about this sexual freaky thing that you got going on. Okay? So now in 2019, when Saturn gets right here, we start to see this news come out. So now what is Saturn? Saturn is the past. Well, wait a minute. Didn't R. Kelly already go to court for this and was found not guilty? Isn't this something that's old? So it's like the past is catching up, right? Saturn represents the past. It represents debt. It represents time. It also represents justice. Also represent confinement too, right? So is it a coincidence when Saturn gets right here in alignment with your sun, which is who you are as a person, is bringing the sexual energy of the past, in which Saturn was in opposition to? See, listen, ladies and gentlemen, Saturn became Satan in the theology, okay? It became your dark self known as Set in Egypt. Saturn, Satan, Set, all the same principle. This is why Set in Egypt looks like the goat, right? Saturn rules Capricorn, which is the goat, right? Okay. So therefore, this is your dark self that everybody has. So this is predicated upon the decisions that we make. I want to be clear. This is not Saturn doing anything to him. This is a reflection of the decisions that you made. That's it. It's just a reflection of the decisions that you made. So now we can be able to measure, go up in the future and say, oh, when this gets right here, this is likely to happen based upon the decisions that you made. It's cause and effect, ladies and gentlemen. It's not hard. Okay. So ladies, be on the lookout, because I want to show you that. Shout out to Ricky Schizios, who said, man, you got to do R. Kelly. All right. So now let's move over to Jeff Bezos, man, the Amazon. All right. So Bezos, born 1/12/1964. I want you to note that the sun appears at the hind of Sag. Okay. The sun, once again, is identity and it's your life. All right. Now on 1/11/19, news broke that Jeff Bezos will have a divorce. I want you to note that Saturn in the sky, as we just showed, because it's 2019, right? Excuse me, is right there in the same alignment. Okay, you see it. And Saturn's energy represents losses, contraction, justice as well. Okay. And then I also want you to note that the planet Pluto is behind the sun in a straight line. If we were to zoom in beyond the sun, we will see Pluto. So Pluto is exactly in this straight alignment with the sun, or where the sun was when he was born, because remember, he was born with the sun right here. So now Pluto is here. So what is the energy of Pluto? Sex and death. Okay. I don't know if Jeff had an affair. I ain't read into it. But with Saturn representing restriction, right? Saturn representing contraction, things are tightening up. Pluto represents death. So something's coming to an end. And since this is happening in the area of space where the sun was, which is his life force energy, and Pluto moves real slow, and Saturn and Pluto are not even technically perfectly aligned yet. So Pluto moves slow. Within these next 2 to 3 years, Jeff Bezos could be checking up out of here if he's not careful. So how, Jeff, take care of yourself, man, is all I can say, because I'm a Bezos fan for sure. Okay. So I just wanted to show y'all that with Bezos, when Pluto comes around on the sun, Saturn comes around on the sun, there's usually going to be some shaking up, some things that's going to get shaken up in your life, and you're going to have to let some things go or redefine some things too. All right. Because you can reconcile. So you can just have to redefine it. All right. Okay. So let's move into part 3. Again, rest in peace to Natalie Corona. So I'm up this morning. This is which really started it and whatnot. And minding my business, and I see this on the internet news. And I'm like, well, I ain't hear nothing about this. Officer is shot. And her name is Natalie Corona. Now, that's what got me, because I know what Corona mean. Now, I want you to just follow the chain of events here, because I'm not bugging. And this is the beauty of God. I was watching the Dave Chappelle show last night, and he was talking about how he see things like I don't know. He gave some example of John McCain from Arizona and somebody else, maybe Barack Obama, somebody. And he was like, but wait a minute. The person in Obama's office was the same name as the person that was in McCain's office. And then this person, he said, I be seeing stuff like that. And I'm like, oh boy, that's that awakening process. Synchronicity, we call it. Okay. So anyway, I see her name, Natalie Corona, and Corona is the key word that sets me off into this journey. And so, as you can see, the chief said Natalie Corona described as a rising star. And I said, oh my God, that was the first one. So Corona is what put me on it, and then rising star put me on it. So then the question becomes, what is Corona? A corona is the aura of plasma that surrounds the sun and other stars. So in other words, in this picture, as you can see, when the eclipse come, when the solar eclipse come, a full one, when the moon is in front of the sun, the light that you see, right, on the outskirts is the aura or the corona. Okay. All right. So I know that Corona deals with eclipses. That's why when I saw her name, I'm like, okay, what is this? And then they said rising star. And I said, okay, it's about to get interesting. All right. So Corona represents an eclipse. Okay. All right. So what happens when you look at an eclipse, like the Great American Eclipse that just passed? Everybody go put on these glasses and they go look at the eclipse. Yes, this is a fact. They're like the coolest phenomenons that you see. everybody all of a sudden is interested in astronomy and even start branching off into the more deeper science, astrology, right? When the eclipse comes. And so Corona, we know, is an eclipse, but I know that Corona is really a play off of the cornea, which is basically the outer layer of the eye. And again, when you're looking at the corona on the eclipse, you're using your eyes and you're putting these glasses on so you don't damage your eye. So corona and cornea it's the same thing. Okay. Just wanted to show you that. So the key here is people looking. People looking. What you see with the eye is very freaking important. Okay. Hence, again, Egypt is going to hit you with the Eye of Ra. Islam going to hit you with the Eye of Fatima. In Hebrew, they call it the Hamza. Do I got one right here? I don't know if y'all can see it. The hand with the eye in it. The Hamza. Looking, like Nicki Minaj said, looking ass niggas. And you know it in culture. What you looking at, nigga? You looking at me. Why you looking at me? Looks have energy. Oh, boy. Okay. All right. So on October the 21st, Officer Natalie Corona went to Facebook. And since she grew up in law enforcement, and she wasn't even an officer yet, because she didn't become an officer until 2 weeks before her death. So she's like new on the job. Only been in for like 2 weeks. 3 years ago, 2016, or if you want to say late 2 years ago, she posted a picture of her in all blue with a thin blue stripe on the flag to represent the falling, dead police officers, the slain soldiers, basically. Now, people on Facebook are looking at this, okay? Because it's a picture. People going to look at it. They're going to comment. They're going to hit the like button. They're going to share it. People are going to look. Note that the flag has stars in it. Remember, got to pay attention to the storyline. She was a rising star, okay? So here it is. She's putting herself in all blue because she is embodying the principle of dead police officers. And people are looking at that, making an observation with their cornea. So then Spirit, now you got to watch the chain of events. Because once I found the date of when she put the picture up, I already knew what's happening. And this is why you got to listen to that flash of an idea, because that's God. The higher God, if it's for a good purpose, okay? Because you may have a freaky R. Kelly thing going on, maybe the lower God, okay? So Spirit said, go look in 2016 and see where was the eclipses at, the one before, the immediate eclipse before October 21st and the one after October 21st. You got to understand the science of the eclipses that sandwich you. You got an eclipse that happened before your birthday, then you're born, and then the next eclipse that's born, that comes after you were born. You sit in between eclipses, and you better understand this. I'm telling you, these eclipse points are super duper sensitive. I mean super, super, extremely sensitive, okay? So do the math yourself. In 2017, just 4 months later of February, please note that an eclipse took place. They said at 9 degrees Pisces, but in the sky, it looked like it's at the knee of Aquarius. Interesting. I would be the Aquarius that's sharing this information with you. Okay. The moon and the sun are in a perfect alignment. Go do the research yourself and see if it was an eclipse that year on that date. I'm just going to check out. So there's an eclipse on this day. So then Spirit said, go see where the moon was at on the day she died, January the 10th. Where's the moon, ladies and gentlemen? Come on. Come on. You see? This is serious business. This is serious freaking business. Because the moon moves so fast. I can't express this enough. In 2 days, the moon won't even be there no more. The moon only stays in front of a zodiac sign for 2 days. It moves 13 degrees to your left every single day. Then the next day is 13 degrees. So it's only in the zodiac sign for 2 freaking days. See, this point of space, time is irrelevant. It don't matter if she took the picture in October 2016. It don't matter that in 2017, at this exact same point in space, an observation, or I'm sorry, an eclipse was made. Now, when the moon gets here, which the moon is here once a month anyway. So I guess you could ask the question, well, why this particular month? Because it's been here once a month any other time. Whole nother conversation. But just know that the moon is directly in the same spot where the eclipse, and here's the kicker, was going to take place after she posts the picture. Very important to understand that. We can't stress enough to you, we, being myself, my brother, the Prime Minister, Minister Jew, observation, looking at something creates reality. I'm just going to leave it at that. This is why vision boards work. This is why you can go look into Jim Carrey and he's like, yeah, I had and told Oprah I had a $10,000 check in my pocket and I would carry it and I had a date on it. And then when that date got here is when I got my first movie and it cut me a check for $10 million. And I forgot all about it. And the check was all beat up and old. And I used to drive up to the Hollywood Hills and sit here and imagine the house. And now I live up here. There's countless stories about seeing it in the mind's eye first. Every idea starts with a mental image that gets worked out and becomes a prototype in the first one. And then it becomes the Model T Ford. Then it becomes the airplane for the Wright brothers. Okay? It always starts with an idea. Control your imagery and be very careful of the imagery that you put out. Okay? It's the moral of the story. So ladies, be on the lookout. You can get on my mailing list. You can go to myastrologycoach.com, myastrologycoach.com. If you want a personal consultation, man, just hit the consult tab, hit me up. Let's make it happen. I am over at the Prosperity Investment Group. Is where I've been busy. We real estate going. We focusing on building family wealth. So I have a new membership called the Family Wealth Club. You can go to the prosperityinvestmentgroup.com, go to membership tab, see the video for the Family Wealth Club. I promise you it is phenomenal. We get busy, super duper busy. A webinar on the 2nd and 4th Saturday. This Saturday that just passed, I had my young mentor, only 25 years old, come on and share how he actually got paid 40 something, like a little over 40,000 to build his own house up from the ground. He got paid to do it. Excuse me. All right. How did he do that? Simple. He got the private money from one person who loaned him the money. The house appraised more from what the loan was when he took it to the bank. And then the bank gave him 80% of what the loan, of the value of the house. The money left over, when they gave him the 80%, he paid off the private person, and then he had 40-something thousand left over. He got to keep that in his pocket, 100% tax-free, because it's not income. It's a loan from the bank. So it's not income, okay? Day one, 40-something thousand in his pocket and got paid to build his own dream house the way he wants his house, okay? Got the webinar to show you this phenomenal information on how to get busy. 2nd and 4th Saturday is a webinar. Every Friday we do Real Estate Friday, showing you how to find deals in your area, showing you how to get started in real estate with just marketing money. You just need money for postcards or pay for skip tracing, which means phone numbers. All right, but showing you how to get started in real estate. That's every single Friday. And then one Tuesday out the month, which is tomorrow for us, we are absolutely doing something called Think Tank Tuesdays for my entrepreneurs. You got 60 seconds to turn your computer on where people can see your screen, and we get to see what you have to offer us, okay? So we can support each other. And then after we run through everybody's businesses, anybody got a question, you know, something, you know, an idea, something they want to kind of get some feedback on and put it to the think tank, everybody's going to elaborate. That way, you know, it can help you grow. A lot of times people are in the solopreneur stage. So I like using, you may be a baker and you say, hey, I'm thinking about coming out with lemon, or should I do strawberry? You know what I mean? And then you may need a vote and whatnot. And, you know, so, you know, we're here to help each other, and that's the key. All right. And also bringing in certified professionals like I just did this week to help you out in this area of wealth building. Next month, it's going to be loaded them Saturdays. It's going to be off the chain with a guy who understands some stuff. All right. I'm going to hold off on that. But again, just go over to theprosperityinvestmentgroup.com. Click on membership tab, watch the video, and see what all we have to offer. It's a lot, and make it happen. All right. So with that, I'll see y'all. Peace.
Prophecy is what we all have to go by now.